Alabama may have found its quarterback for the future, but we may have to wait a little bit to actually hear that that's going to happen.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and I'll tell you about FanDuel here in just a bit. And thanks for making this your first listen every single day. And, Jimmy, that cold open I had was the most Philip Marshall-y way that I could say that I think we're getting Keelon Russell, but I said it the way Philip Marshall writes, where we could get him, we might not get him. We don't know. Nobody does until he actually signs, and even then it's not sure because he could transfer. So I'm not sure.
Well, it's still all up in the air. Nothing is officially official or ever is that way anymore, But, I think we've been optimistic. We've talked about Keelon Russell more on this show than any other quarterback in this class over the past couple of months. I mean, I think for the past 2 or 3 months, this is where it's been trending for Alabama in terms of the most likely quarterback to sign. But he's visiting this weekend. Word is it's gone well, but, most visits too. This is a fun place to spend a weekend. I'm optimistic. It's certainly who I would project. Nothing has changed for me. This is who I would project signs with Alabama as part of the 2025 quarterback class. I think BOL, we've covered this really well. As a matter of fact, before anyone, frankly. I mean, I think Tim Watts and the recruiting department at BOL are ahead of pretty much everyone on Keelon Russell. He's also continued to rise in the rankings. This is going to be, I was asked again today about a comp for him, and I've been saying Jaden Daniels, and I think Jaden Daniels is a really good comp for him, really. But I also realize when I say that, I'm comparing him to a Heisman winner. So it's like, oh, you're saying he's going to be a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback at Alabama. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that he's physically really similar in terms of how he's built, in terms of his arm talent, in terms of he's talented with his legs. I would give Jaden a slight nod in terms of elusiveness and quickness, how fast he is. Slight nod, but I'd also say that Keelon's a more advanced passer at the same stage. Let's remember, Jaden Daniels played 6 years of college football. He was only the Heisman winning quarterback in his 6th year. I would say the first 5 years, he was developing to get to that point. And Keelon's obviously starting from ground zero when he arrives in college in 2025. But I'm excited if it's Keelon. This is a great program, by the way. Duncanville is really, really good. Maybe as good a program as there is in Texas. So, I mean, that's saying a lot about the stage this kid has consistently played on. So all sorts of reasons to be excited about Keelon Russell. Now, is he going to commit this weekend? I don't know. I'm not, we're not told that. I don't know when that's going to happen or if it's going to happen, but I would just comfortable in saying right now that Alabama's in a good spot for him as he remains committed to SMU.
Yeah, being the best player in the best program in Texas is kind of like being the best hot tub filter in the grotto at the Playboy Mansion. That thing is good as it gets. Nothing gets by. I don't even know if there is a Playboy Mansion anymore.
There's a wide receiver on that team is pretty good, by the way. That Joyner kid plays there. So I don't even know he's the best player on the team. I mean, Decorian Joyner, that wide receiver that was committed to LSU and recently decommitted. And that's interesting. If Keelon Russell flips to Alabama, would Joyner join him? Can't say no, although
I mean, I've
never heard Alabama really strongly associated with him. But maybe the two sides give each other a longer look here if Keelon Russell ends up committing to Alabama.
What else is funny? You're like, okay, so my comp is Jaden Daniels, and we have to. Whenever you and I talk about a player and we bring up a comp, we have to preface it with, we're not saying he is this guy. This is just the comp, because people will take it immediately, and they probably do it anyway, and say, Jimmy said he's Jaden Daniels. But what's funny is your comp is actually less than most everybody else's. At least I would consider. Like most everybody else is saying Lamar Jackson. So I think you're being incredibly reasonable.
I don't like the Lamar comp to me. I mean, now here's a funny thing though. When you say it's how it's all. When Jaden Daniels was at LSU and people were saying, I'm not sure he's a good NFL prospect, I was saying, why do you say that? He's Lamar Jackson. Kid's Lamar Jackson. That's what I was saying about Jaden Daniels. So maybe I should.
Yeah, I'm going to say the transitive property works here. Like, if you say Jaden Daniels is Lamar Jackson, then you're also saying, and you're saying Keelon Russell is Jaden Daniels, then I think you're also saying Keelon Russell is Lamar Jackson, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
I guess it's kind of similar. I just go with my comps are always almost strictly. I mean, I think a lot of people go with comp style of play. Mine always starts with this: size and speed and athleticism. I want to match size, speed, and athleticism at the same age. That's where all my comps start. And frankly, Keelon Russell is like virtually the exact same size as Jaden Daniels. Also has similar speed. It's probably not the same. I mean, Jaden's probably like real 4.4 and Keelon's more like 4.55. I mean, but they're in the ballpark. But then you watch the tape and you see similarities there. That's where all of my comps start. It's always going to be size and speed. I guess other people say, hey, this 5'10", 185-pound back runs like Bo Jackson. Well, if I'm comping somebody to Bo Jackson, they're going to be 6'2", 225 running a 4.3. I mean, they're going to be that before I comp someone to Bo Jackson, right?
Yeah, and comping, as my daughter calls me again, I just told my son I'm about to get on a podcast. He said, I'll call you later. I guess he didn't tell my daughter.
Maybe they get the YouTube notifications when we're maybe YouTube sends them, hey, I think they're recording again.
Anything y'all can do to screw them up, it would be a help. So maybe it's other Locked On channels trying to get at us. You think
the other Bama podcasts that are just trying to knock us
Locked
off
On,
the mountaintop.
We sort of help each other.
Yeah, we do.
At least I feel like we do.
Yeah, I don't know. I got no enemies in this world.
Well, I mean, in the Locked On world, you got some enemies.
I probably do.
Jimmy, believe me, I'm one of them.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, let's go ahead and tell everybody about LinkedIn, because there's some people out there that need some LinkedIn help right now. We love LinkedIn over here at Locked On Bama and all Locked On channels. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Telling you, it's the best. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. That's crazy talk. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're not looking in the right place, yo. So on LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats, they might not have time or the resources to hire. So look, go post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions, get ready for them. They apply. Okay, so any other recruiting news very quickly before I get to the next one in your countdown, Jimmy?
It's been a little, I wouldn't say quiet. Obviously, 12 guys visiting this weekend as we record this on Sunday morning. We've yet to see or read interviews at BOL. Joseph Hastings will reach out, and Bone will reach out to kids as they make it home. Have a policy of not contacting kids during visits while they're on campus. They wait until it's confirmed that the kids have left campus before they reach out to do an interview. So we'll get some reaction later today. But no, as of right now, as we record this, I'm not aware of any impending commitments. Didn't really expect any from this group, but I do think Alabama could end up signing players that are visiting this weekend as they make their way through their visits, including Keelon Russell, we've already talked about, and of course, 3 kids that are visiting are already committed, like Latsier Brooks. He's fast. He did his visit running full speed and has probably already made it back to New Jersey.
Just running through the campus like the Flash.
And then ran back to New Jersey. I mean, that kid is great. He might end up being maybe the lowest ranked player. I mean, right now, ranking is going to change. He's like the lowest ranked guy in this class right now. And I'm not so sure he's not my number one favorite. I mean, I love that guy. I would take him 1,000 times out of 1,000. I don't care if I was at Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia. He's just wow. I want that kid on my team guy to me.
All right, so let's get to number 65 on your countdown, and that is put you on the spot then.
Who is 65? Isn't it not is it
Naquil
Bertrand? I'm not looking at it. Is Naquil Bertrand number 65?
We already did him.
Okay. Isn't then we go to 64?
I think. Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm going to take. I thought you knew the answer to this. All right, so. No. The last we had Ty Lockwood and Hunter Osborne last, and you didn't send me who's after that.
No, oh, okay. So after Ty Lockwood and Hunter Osborne, those are the last ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. After those two, the next is a real fun one. Quarterback Austin Mack.
Okay, thank you. I knew we'd already done Bertrand. Boy, we are on top of our game today.
Yeah, we didn't discuss where we were. As a matter of fact, I'm like, didn't we do Bertrand last? But no, we did Ty Lockwood and Hunter Osborne last. It's because I do them here and then do them on BOL and vice versa. But anyway,
can I make a suggestion that you write your own list down and put it in front of you where you do the podcast every day, so that maybe we can act like we have a podcast.
I'm also occasionally asked on radio interviews about that. Where are you at on the list and who's next? I'm like,
well, you could just lie.
Hard to keep up with.
Let's get an Austin Mack. I mean, the 6'8" wonderkin.
He is awesome, and obviously, man, I think anyone that's down on Austin Mack made way too much of A-Day. A-Day, to me, Austin Mack not playing well on A-Day, I think is really helpful to people who want to know how all this works, and that is that he's 17 years old. I think he might have just turned 18. He's not supposed to be a good college football player yet. And I know that we have seen guys who have done that, but they are the 1% of 1%. Austin Mack is a developmental prospect, like virtually all of them. He is 6'6", 225 pounds, I think. I think the world of him. I think he's going to be a great player. Just think of what Kalen DeBoer thinks of Austin Mack. Whereas, hey, you got to go to Alabama. You're taking the Washington job. You're going to Alabama, and you're told, and he knows Alabama already has Julian Sand on campus, and he's a 5-star and maybe the number one quarterback in the country. And Kalen DeBoer is like, I'm going to go talk to Austin Mack because I want to bring him to Tuscaloosa. And then the thought occurs to him, or people tell him, or he knows, you bring Austin Mack, Julian Sand's likely to leave. And he's like, hey, if Austin Mack will go, I'm bringing Austin Mack. So if you believe in Kalen DeBoer, then you believe in Austin Mack. And I know I do. His skill set is crazy. If Luke and I sat down and it's like, this is easy to imagine, by the way. Imagine me and Luke, you older people, remember that movie, Weird Science, where the two dorks sat down and basically designed Kelly LeBrock and ended up creating Kelly LeBrock. That's me. It's easy to imagine me and Luke, those guys. But if we were creating a quarterback, who would pop out? Austin Mack. I mean, he's tall, he's fast, he's smart as heck. He's got a strong arm. He's also got a talented skill set. He's got every single tool you would want in a big time quarterback. It's just, and now I'm mad,
Jimmy, because we ordered Kelly LeBrock.
We would. That's who we would order.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's who we would order, but it wouldn't be Austin Mack. But if we were making a quarterback, we would make Austin Mack. And I'm super excited about him. I think now it's just a matter of waiting it out. And waiting it out means he's not ready yet. That's what A-Day showed. He's not ready yet. Will he become ready? I have almost no doubt at all. I mean, as sure as you can be, he's going to be. And I think he might be ready, Luke, as soon as next spring. And if he is ready as soon as next spring, boy, that's going to be a heck of a show, right? Assuming all the quarterbacks return, Jalen Milroe off to the NFL, as I would project. So next spring, Ty Simpson, who's more than ready, the talented Dylan Lonergan, who we haven't got to on the countdown yet, and the now ready Austin Mack. It'd be a heck of a situation and a heck of a battle. I would still project Ty to be the quarterback, but Austin Mack is he's going to be the starting quarterback at Alabama one day.
I'm going to make a prediction that is, going to be wildly unpopular because nobody ever likes to keep it real on the negative side with players. I don't think Austin Mack ever starts a quarterback at Alabama.
Think he's going to leave before it happens?
Something, because here's my deal. All right. And I'm excited about him. It doesn't mean I don't think he's good. And I'm not basing it off 8A. I'm just basing it off of, I'm trying to logically see how this goes. And look, I believe Ty Simpson will stay at Alabama now. If Ty Simpson was going to stay this year, he's definitely going to stay next year because there's no sense to stay this year if you're not staying next year. It's stupid, actually. So I think that he stayed. Jalen Milroe's obviously gone. I think it's Ty Simpson's next year. Okay. Then you start talking about, okay, you got Lonergan, who I also think will hang around because I feel like he likes being at Alabama. There's also, I guess, the possibility of baseball eventually for him, maybe. I don't know. But then I think you're talking about Lonergan, and I think I'm going to assume we get Keelon Russell, and I'm going to say it turns into a Lonergan Keelon Russell thing. And it's just funny that Austin Mack was like the talk for a little bit because everybody was like, this guy's a freakazoid. There was all these, like these little video clips put out about what he can do, and I do think he's great. I just don't see how he waits around with those measurables and those tools. I don't see how he waits around this long. And you can say, well, Ty Simpson did it. It's a little different. And I feel like I just feel like Austin Mack just won't be at Alabama, whether it's through he got frustrated or whether he just kept getting beat out or he just wanted to leave, whatever. I'm just going to make that prediction. I don't like making it, but I figure, if we did nothing but make, pie in the sky prognostications, we would lose some credibility. So every now and again, I got to say something negative.
No, it's an interesting topic. I mean, I think we could do a whole show on predicting how quarterback's going to play out over the next few years. And no matter what we predict, we're both going to be wrong. It's just impossible in today's landscape with quarterbacks coming and going. But I would say it's going to be Milroe, then Simpson in 2025, and then Austin Mack. And then Keelon Russell.
Fair.
That's what I would think. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I knew what was going to happen. If I knew exactly what was going to happen, I'd figure out a way to bet on it and make money.
Yeah, there you go. You're Philip Marshalling this podcast again.
It's the former lawyer in me.
By the way, you said that he's 17. Do you think that's who the Beatles were singing about? Austin Mack was only 17, and you know what I mean?
I think they were singing about Kelly LeBron.
I think they were saying we only have, even we're the Beatles, and we only have a 17% chance to get with her. So anyway, all right, Jimmy, I need to tell everybody now about FanDuel because FanDuel is the absolute best. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you know this. FanDuel, gotta love them. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and I guess eventually there are going to be some NBA finals. I think they start next Thursday week. But it's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 American in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and much, much more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every single playoff shot count, whether that's with the puck or the basketball. FanDuel is, of course, America's number one sportsbook. Did you get all that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, I think my interwebs is acting up.
No, I got the whole FanDuel ad. Got me excited. Got me excited about the NBA. Got me excited about betting on FanDuel on the NBA Finals.
Which start next Thursday. April.
Why do they do that?
Why do they do that? That's so ignorant.
We were just having fun with the NBA playoffs, and then they're like, "Stop the playoffs.
Yeah,
we'll do it later."
I mean, it is dumb, right? I mean, if you have a great first date with a girl, and it's kind of surprising. That's how I would say, like, the NBA playoffs are taking me by surprise. Like, Luka Doncic in this last game was a lot of fun. And then, I mean, like, if you have a great first date, you don't say, hey, this was awesome. God, you're so much better looking than I thought. And we kind of, we've done some over the sweater stuff. This is great. Let's talk again in about 3 months. No, you don't do that. You say, what are you doing tomorrow morning? I'm cooking you breakfast. That's what you do. Anyway.
See you in September. That was awesome.
All right. So now let's talk a little baseball. Baseball's out.
Yeah.
Look, and it serves me right. I started to buy into the baseball thing a little too much because, I was like, man, they got a shot at Florida State. No, they didn't have a shot. I should have known this because they don't hit on the road. Alabama does not hit the ball on the road, period. And they got shut out by Stetson. And yes, it's a little bit embarrassing. And yes, Stetson trolled us on Twitter. But you know what? You got to step back and look big picture here. I think Coach Vaughn is the right dude for this gig. And I also feel like once the scholarship dust settles, and let's assume Alabama is going to end up with, like every baseball team is going to end up with, like, yeah, we're just going to be able to give scholarships to whoever we want to. No more of this 11.7 crap. Alabama's going to be as good as anybody. So I'm fine with it. It sucks to go out, and it sucks to be 0-2 in barbecue or whatever they call 2 in Q. Is that what they call it in baseball?
2 in barbecue.
Yeah, 2 in barbecue. Okay, it sucks. I don't like it. I'm not going to hide that it's not embarrassing. It was embarrassing. You don't lose to Stetson 4-0. Hell, I don't like losing to Central Florida. They probably claimed another national championship. So I don't like that either. But they did. They beat us. They're better than we are. And we've got a team that's okay. We're missing Riley Quick, and I think that would have helped a lot. And we still have a long way to go to be up there with a good program. So let's chill out and let's understand we have made back-to-back NCAA tournament trips. That is something to build upon. And again, when you lose a game like this, or when you lose to, say, who'd we lose to? Oh, UCLA, and a 3-run bomb in softball. I was thinking about this on the ride over before I got home to do this podcast. We should be pretty. I mean, did any other program, Jimmy? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's any other program that made the NCAA basketball tournament, much less the Final Four. Made the College World Series in softball, made the NCAA tournament in baseball, and went to the Final Four in football. There's no other program that did that. We're the only one. So let's be happy.
Yeah. Well, I understand anybody being a little down about losing to Central Florida and Stetson. I am. I think that was a really terrible way to end what was otherwise a good season. But they ended playing terribly. They lost 2 of 3 at Auburn. They lost the first game in Hoover. They clearly played their worst baseball at the end. And that's really disappointing. But it's our first back-to-back NCAA tournaments in 10 years. First time in a decade they've made it to the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years. So this is an ascending program. Don't be too caught up in the myopic, hey, here's a loss and here's a loss, realizing where this program's going. The program is rising. Rob Vaughn has to continue that. We're about to enter a new era of college baseball, going from 11.7 scholarships where everyone is on partial, and it's to over 30 scholarships where everyone is on full. I mean, I can't even explain how that's radically going to change.
Is that actually 100% going to happen, by the way? You and I are just saying that. Okay.
Yes.
For next year.
No. Season. Not this upcoming school year is too close to make it happen. So it'll be, so this upcoming school year is the 2024-2025 school year. It will be the 2025-2026 school year where this happens. So we'll have one more year of the status quo and then massive change. And I think there is a question of whether there will be an incremental change in between. Is it going to be status quo or incremental change? But as of right now, it looks like status quo and then massive change fall of 2025. But hey, it affects recruiting right now, though, because it's part of your recruiting pitch.
Hey, Jimmy, how did the dude who was a good pitcher for us that transferred to LSU do at LSU?
Yeah, he was good. He was good, but not awesome. He clearly would have been our number one pitcher. He would have been the number one starter at Alabama. So no doubt he wasn't awesome, but he was good. I'll tell you, Ben Hess pitched really good down the stretch. Ben Hess pitched good yesterday in the loss to Stetson. I mean, he into the 7th inning, and I think only gave up 3 earned runs. And most of the time, you're going to win college baseball when that happens. But no, Luke Holman was a loss. Colby Shelton at Florida was a loss. Now we'll see what happens with the Major League Draft is going to affect this team. Graduation will affect the team, and the transfer portal will affect the team. But I believe that Rob Vaughn is a roster builder, and he's a developer of talent. And hopefully we hang on to what we got. A player like Justin LeBron, he's the best baseball talent we've had on the team in a while. We're going to have to give Justin LeBron a full ride and a lot of NIL money because we're going to have to fend off the poachers when it comes to a guy like him who can now play on a full ride for virtually anyone in the country. So we got to hold on to what we got, bring in some guys in the portal, and keep on developing the young talent on the team.
You know, I was thinking about this today too, that I bet as much as maybe I'm overthinking it, but I bet you baseball might be the hardest sport to recruit in the country because it's like basketball. You have access to so many other things, it feels like, and you can just look at if somebody's like 6'10" and lanky and can run, you're like, I can do something with it. But I mean, in baseball, it's like, how do you judge somebody's eye in high school when you don't know what kind of competition they're playing? You know, how do you know, are you just keeping up with bat speed? I mean, I don't like baseball that much, so it's hard for me to, but I mean, it just seems like baseball would be harder to recruit than football because there's also so much more information out there about football recruits and basketball recruits. Baseball recruits, yeah, there's some services, but shoot, I couldn't find them with a finding stick. So, I mean, I just feel like
there's two elements that make it even harder than that. And one is you find a guy that's like, oh, here's a guy that can play for us. He's really good. And you take him and you offer him a full scholarship because he's so good. And then he's taken in round 1 or 2 of the draft and he's gone and you never get him at all. And now you've wasted now you got a whole scholarship offer that's out there to somebody that's not using it because you only have 11.7 to chop up.
Yeah.
That's why chopping up those scholarships and, hey, he's good. Is he worth a third? Is he worth a half of a scholarship? Well, if we offer him a third, what happens when Ole Miss offers him a half? I mean, it's by far the hardest sport apart from the evaluation that Luke's talking about because the pitching is so different from 1A to 5A to 7A, from this state to that state. There's a lot of travel ball. I think a lot of the evaluation, though, takes place at that travel ball level where pretty much, you know, everyone's kind of elite in certain leagues. But it is extremely difficult. And hey, but Alabama's in the SEC. It's the best baseball conference. We're in a great baseball area, great access to talent. Alabama should be good. And when the playing field levels, Luke, and everyone's got 30 full scholarships, I think Alabama's going to soon be as good as anyone.
All right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.